This city council, not with me on it, has violated the city charter. The council violated the city charter. When they appointed Councilman Gambaro, they violated the city charter.
The feud between Palm Coast Mayor Mike Norris and the city council is moving from City Hall to the courthouse.
Lake County Attorney Anthony Sabatini is representing Norris in an emergency lawsuit against the city over Councilman Charles Gambaro's appointment to the council last year.
The city of Palm Coast was supposed to hold an election when there was a resignation on the council 6 months ago, and they didn't. They appointed a member to the council, and then they chose not to abide by the charter, which said that person was only going to hold office until the next possible election. And so that councilman was appointed in October. The election was November 5th. They never held an election. In fact, they were obligated, if they couldn't do that one, to hold it at some other point in the future, and they never did. So just a very simple charter violation, and that councilman is not lawfully allowed to occupy that office until there is an election.
That councilman made a failed motion last week to request the governor to remove Norris from office. In Sabatini's opinion, Gambaro never should have been able to make the motion.
So because he was appointed before the election, it was required that he then run for office at that election. Even if he didn't, it wouldn't matter. His term as a special appointed council member ended on November 5th, the day of the next election. And so therefore, he's not validly been on the council. He's in no lawful authority to be on the council for at least 6 months.
Norris's lawsuit seeks to remove Gambaro from the District 4 seat through a judgment of ouster and for a special election to be held at the nearest reasonable date. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Daryl Moody.
Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Tuesday, May 6th. One day after Mayor Norris files suit against Palm Coast, the City Council will have to move ahead with a busy agenda at tonight's meeting.
There is a scheduled City of Palm Coast City Council meeting taking place tonight at 6 p.m. Brittany Kershaw, Communications and Marketing Director for the City of Palm Coast.
Beginning at 5:30 p.m., we'll have a proclamation declaring May 10th and 11th as Maternal Mental Health Weekend. And following that, the 57th session of the Palm Coast Citizens Academy will graduate. Then, beginning at 6 p.m., we'll have a business meeting. And there are many items on the agenda, so it's expected to be quite a lengthy meeting.
And she has details.
The first topic will be the city manager search. City Council interviewed the 2 finalists on April 24th. However, since then, both candidates have withdrawn from consideration. So City Council will need to discuss next steps for filling the city manager vacancy. Then the city attorney will lead a discussion on a Florida State Statute 288.075 on commercial development and capital improvements, as well as recent legal allegations of a quid pro quo raised at the May 1st special business meeting by the mayor. Next, City Council will discuss the ethics complaint that has been drafted by the city attorney for City Council consideration.
There will also be a moment of recognition.
After these organizational discussions, the fire department will present the appointment of one member to the Firefighters Retirement System and Trust Fund. Daniel Hackney's term expired on April 30th, 2025, and he is up for re-election to the board, which oversees the Firefighters Retirement System and Trust Fund.
You can watch the meeting on the WNZF Facebook page or the Flagler Radio YouTube channel.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
In other news, Florida lawmakers recently approved legislation that would prohibit elementary and middle school students from using cell phones at any point during the school day. This expands existing state law, which currently restricts mobile device use only during instructional time. Under the new rules, students in kindergarten through 8th grade would be barred from accessing phones from the start of the day until dismissal, including lunch periods and transitions between classes. Some lawmakers voiced concern that the ban could interfere with communication between parents and students during off-campus activities, such as field trips. In response, supporters of the measure noted that students remain reachable through school administrative offices. If signed into law by Governor DeSantis, the new restrictions and policy changes would take effect in time for the next academic year. For Flagler's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.